Hey everyone, Robert Ferringo of Doc Sports here with my number 29 team in my NFL preseason power rankings, the Tennessee Titans. We will get to a season win total pick and predictions for the 2023 Titans in a minute. First, I have to mention that if you enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe down below. That will get you updates on daily plays from the top team of handicappers in the country. Also, be sure to take advantage of that free $60 that we are giving you down below in the description. Click the link, you go to Doc Sports website, real quick and easy, $60 same as cash to be used towards any handicapper, any package for any sport that you want. Most of our daily packages are around $30. So basically we're giving you 2 days free. If you win, awesome, that's great. That's what we expect. Right, but it is gambling. You don't win every day. If you don't, you will get that back in terms of credit, and we will work for you until we have shown you a profit. Okay, let's dig in on my number 2019 because I think that this might be a little bit of a shock to some people. It was a little bit of a shock to me. The Tennessee Titans, like several of the other teams that are below them, were the top seeds in the AFC not too long ago. It wasn't that long ago that this team was playing for the AFC Championship. So things change quickly for this team. Much like the Rams, the team that I have just below them, there's just enough names on this Titan team where you can kind of talk yourself into it, right? I mean, they still got Ryan Tannehill. They still got Derrick Henry. They just got DeAndre Hopkins. Mike Vrabel's still the coach. These guys should be good, right? I don't think so. And here's why. Now, first, Vrabel, this is why I feel uneasy about placing the Titans in this spot. It's because of Mike Vrabel. He's one of the best coaches in the NFL. There's not even a question about it. In his last 5 years, in his 5 years in Tennessee, he's had 4 winning seasons. In 4 of those 5 years, he's beaten his season win totals. In 4 of those 5 years, he has surpassed his Pythagorean wins expectation, meaning that he consistently gets his teams to overachieve, and overachieve in a big way. The last 3 seasons, his teams have beaten their Pythagorean wins expectation by 4 full wins. That's an average of 1.3 per season. Now, if a team beats its PWE by that much in one season, that puts them in kind of a regression zone for the next year. It makes my ears perk up in the offseason when I'm doing my preseason stuff. To do it in 3 straight seasons at that level, at a certain point, it stops becoming a fluke. Mike Tomlin is another guy where this applies to. After he just keeps doing it. You know, when Peyton Manning was in Indianapolis, they would beat their season win total just about every single year. And, you know, you go back and other teams throughout history that beat their Vegas season win total 3 years in a row, it's like an 80-something% chance that they're not going to beat that 4th year in a row. Peyton Manning would do it. Tom Brady would do it. There are some guys where after you just see them defy the mathematics enough times, it's almost like they're immune to regression, okay? We're going to test that theory with Vrabel this season because this is probably the least talented team he has had in a few years. It's younger, not as much high-end talent. Even those guys that I mentioned, Ryan Tannehill is going to be 35 years old. Derrick Henry, he's not getting any younger. DeAndre Hopkins, he's on the back 9 of his career. I felt like that move was a little bit of a desperation move. We'll get to that in a minute. This isn't a very good Titans team. Don't get wrapped up in those names. Now, I mentioned Ryan Tannehill because that's one of the most important factors with this team and why I don't like them. All right, where we're sitting right now in July, you can sell yourself on the Tennessee Titans. Their season win total is 7.5. You can sell yourself on them winning 8, 9, maybe even 10 games. Tannehill, Derrick Henry rushes for 1,500 yards. You know, DeAndre Hopkins fills what A.J. Brown gave them and gives the passing game a jolt and reverts back to that 1,400 yard receiving threat that he was. You can kind of, you know, the defense overachieves. Vrabel's a defensive guy. These guys always play really dirty, really chippy. They put a lot of pressure on opposing teams mentally with their style of play. They're in a terrible division. You can see it, right? But in mathematics, there's a very important principle called variable change. That is why I do not like the Titans. Where they are in July is not where they're going to be in October. The biggest reason why is twofold. First of all, in the last 2 drafts, They have taken Ryan Tannehill's alleged successor twice. Wasted a pick on Malik Willis, and then they got Will Levis. Okay? So they have these two guys on a rookie contract. That's a big thing in the NFL. Oh, rookie contract. Got to take care of your, winning when your quarterback's on a rookie contract. They have two guys that they use high draft picks on that are on rookie contracts. At a certain point, the Titans have to determine if either of these guys can play, if either of them can take over for the aging Ryan Tannehill, or if they whiffed on both of these guys and they have to make another move or do something different. They need to know what they have. The only way they can do that is to play one of these two guys. Now, Tennessee's schedule might give the brass exactly the excuse that they're going to be looking for to go to the kids. The Titans have an absolutely brutal first 2 months of the year. Okay? They start at the New Orleans Saints. And winning in New Orleans, never easy. I'm a little higher on the Saints than some people are. That's a tough road game to start the season with. Then they play the Chargers at home. Chargers are a team that made the playoffs last year, more talented than the Titans. That game is at home, but not easy. Tennessee will probably be an underdog in that game, or it'll be right around a pick, -1, one way or another, depending on what they do in New Orleans. Then they're at Cleveland. They get Cincinnati at home. Then probably their most winnable game in the first 7 weeks, is at Indianapolis. So their easiest game is on the road against a division rival, which is never as easy as it sounds, even if a team is as bad as the Colts. And then they play the Indianapolis Colts game the week before they have to fly to London to play the Baltimore Ravens. They're giving up a home game to go to London, play Baltimore. Then they get the bye week. So their first 6 games, Saints, Chargers, Browns, Bengals, Colts, Ravens, I think they'll be favored in one of those 6 games. It is not beyond the realm of possibility that the Titans could start the season 1-5. All right, even if they're 2-4, they're not going to be feeling too confident at 2-4. But if they're 2-4, 1-5, they go into that bye week. The questions are going to start coming from ownership, from the front office. Do we need to play the kids? And that might spur them to make a change to one of those 2 young quarterbacks. And if they do that, that's the variable change, a change at quarterback away from Ryan Tannehill for whatever you think about him and his career. He is a competent NFL quarterback. He has proven that he can win with this team in the regular season. And that's what we're talking about, right? Regular season wins. There's no doubt in my mind that Ryan Tannehill is a better quarterback right now than Malik Willis or Will Levis. It's just, there's no debate about that. However, just because he's the better quarterback, he may not be the quarterback for the second half of the season because of these outside factors, right? And I feel like if the Titans go to one of the kids, well, they're going to be in big trouble. That's them kind of waving the white flag on the season. I mentioned about Derrick Henry. If he gets hurt, the drop-off from him to their next running back, to their backups, is massive. DeAndre Hopkins, that was a splashy free agent signing, right? And I've been running around all summer telling people that DeAndre Hopkins was like this grenade that was out there in the NFL. That he could go somewhere and the grenade goes off and all of a sudden it changes the odds everywhere. Imagine if he had gone to Buffalo. Imagine if he had gone to New Orleans. What if he had gone to, signed with the Chargers or Chiefs on a 1 or 2 year deal? There are any number of places where DeAndre Hopkins could have gone, signed a 1 or 2 year deal. Cleveland, another one. Pittsburgh. There's just any number of teams that DeAndre Hopkins could have gone to, been a real factor in this NFL season. Really shook up the odds. At this point in his career, I think he'd go chasing championships and meaningful games, at least for a season, and then determine his long-term future. He's made big money in this league, but that's not DeAndre Hopkins. He signed the big deal. He's gone to a bad team. He's been hurt a lot the last 2 years. He's not the same guy that he was. So he's not going to have that impact. So, and then you got Jeffrey Simmons on defense. You got Andre Dillard, who I can't believe they signed to be their left tackle to that deal. If any of those guys I mentioned get injured, the drop-off, because this roster is so barren, is severe. So if you go with one of the young quarterbacks and something happens to one of these star veterans who maybe are just less invested in a rebuild, I don't imagine Derrick Henry is going to want to lug the ball for 350 carries or 350 touches this year if he's playing for a 5-12 team, right? I just don't see things going Tennessee's way. They're in a bad division. You know, you could make the argument that they're right there with Jacksonville, who I'm not as high on as some people this year. I get it. I buy all of that. But their season win total of 7.5 is just way too rich for my blood. That's too high. I think this is a bad football team. I think that they are already in a rebuilding phase. They just haven't really admitted it yet. I think that they have overachieved so much these last few years. They've had a good amount of talent. They have a good, successful style of play. You look at the fact that since Arthur Smith has left, their offense hasn't been the same. Ryan Tannehill hasn't been the same guy. You got those aging stars that could check out or get injured. Who the Titans are now is not who they're going to be in October, November. That's variable change. And that's what you have to factor in when you're trying to look at 18 weeks, 17 games, 5 months of football. You're making this bet, trying to project out what is going to happen months in the future. And I'm not projecting anything good to happen for the Tennessee Titans. So this is a very easy play for me. I like the Titans over. That's it for today. Be sure to check back for my next video on my number 28 teams in my NFL Power Rankings. Until then, carpe diem and good luck.